So good morning, loose enders. So today, I'm not as fat as I was last week. Still fat though, apparently. 12 stone 7 pounds. Most of 12, 11 I think, a week or 10 days ago. And that's not dieting, I've been toing and froing with what I eat. The quantities might have changed a bit, I'm not sure. But I've cut out processed food as much as I can. I fail sometimes, but most of the time it's out, I won't have it. And when I eat what I determine or call single ingredient foods, it's not anything that's mass produced and stuck in jars or packets or anything like that. I've cut my carbohydrates down because being a diabetic, and you learn a little bit about it, you know, because I go to these classes, don't I, every once a week for 2.5 hours. Oh, and we overdo it on carbohydrates. You only need proteins, really. Well, that's not true. If you eat more protein-based food, your body will convert some of that to carbohydrates. And if there's not enough, it will break down your fat cells and give you that as energy. So that makes you lose weight. So it's the carbohydrates. You still need some, enough to be going about your business and getting up and doing stuff, because it gives you immediate energy. But anyway, long story short, I'm not as fat as I was 10 days ago. And I feel better for it. My stomach's gone down, right down, it's nearly flat. I say nearly flat, I'm 68, give us a break. But that's good. Can you hear that? That's the nation's warriors training. And then, oh, for fuck's sake. Get these bursts of gunfire and that going on. I've never experienced anything. I've never been in the services, but I know a lot of people that have. And I'm sure throughout all the forces, there's a high percentage, or a percentage, I don't know if it's higher or not, of people that go into it to get away from a shitty life, you know. And it gives them structure and order and stability and all those things. And I think that sort of thing shapes you as a person, as a character, and also makes you grow up. A level of confidence in yourself, which is a good thing. I quite like the idea. It couldn't work for me. I just don't like that much. I couldn't put up with being barked at all the time. But I'm sure that's whatever. That's just what it is, isn't it? I see a few clips on YouTube and stuff like that. Some of them are terrible fakes, which you can see are just shit. But what you do see, they're all the regiments, not all the regiments, but they have official duties. And I'm going to say this, and I could be wrong. So I'm going to say some of the regiments, they go and they become the King's Guard. So official duties at the palace and official buildings, if you like. And they're a big tourist attraction. And people go along, they look and they take photographs, they sort of stand nearby. But some of these guards, they're not allowed to engage. They're ceremonial. They're going to stand perfectly still, march up and down a bit and do those things with their old-fashioned, somewhat flamboyant uniforms, which is like it's a tradition thing or something. Anyway, I quite like it. But you see holiday makers, and not just from other countries, but from this country, and YouTubers, they're probably some of the worst. They're shoving cameras right in your face, getting really close and trying to torment and tease and really sort of bully the guy because he can't respond. It's just so fucking disrespectful to treat people like that. But most certainly a member of the armed forces is doing a very important official job, you know. And it makes me think, I don't know if that's always been the case, that people behave like that. And I don't want to be this old fella bitching about young people. Oh, no respect for this elder people, and they've got no... I don't want to do that. But it does feel like that. You know, sometimes the police and that are in the area, to protect those people on official duties, they will intervene. And a couple of people have been pinned up against the gates or the wall or something, and basically just escorted away from the area and told off. But they're so cocky, so disrespectful. If I see it, I would act. I would do something about it, you know, because I just find it makes me so angry that people can behave like that. And absolutely no respect for other human beings at all. You know, cocky. I can remember being a cocky young man, but I don't remember being disrespectful, not to the degree you got today. You know, you can have a bit of a laugh, a little bit of a jibe between yourselves, but no, it's not acceptable. And I wouldn't mind if the policeman grabbed them and gave him a clump. I'd go, well, no, he deserved it, mate. But the law is you can't go around and sort of... Well, some people are pretty stupid. And that's the only thing they understand. You know, it's like a bully. Bullies, you can talk to a bully and explain all day to a bully. More often than not, they're pretty thick and arrogant, and it's a power trip for them. And the only way to get them out of that state of mind is to become them, for them to start having some respect for people. You know, my dad was old school. I mean, I'm not praising him, he wasn't a very nice man, but he always said to me as a kid growing up, the only thing a bully understands is some of what he wants to give out, type thing. And I think it's true. No, I don't have your kids under control by giving them a clump. Teach them respect from day one. You know, and punish them by other means, obviously. But if it doesn't work, then life will teach them the hard lesson a bit later on in life. More often than not. Not always. There'll always be a percentage of people in the world that are arseholes, won't there? And they'll always be stupid. They'll always be stupid. And they'll hang around with other people that are just as stupid as them, or people that are frightened of them and say, oh, I want to be his friend because he's a bit of a tough guy. When 9 times out of 10 they're not. They're tough guys when they know they've got the upper hand. Quite often they wouldn't dream of being so abrasive or arrogant or churlish or whatever word you want to use with people of their own, of equivalent physicality, stature type thing. who was a grown-up, if you like. Anyway, I bought the paper today. I've done it before, and at the time I flicked through it and I'm fed up with it. But I thought, anyway, I bought the Guardian today. £3, right? And the Guardian, I'm not sure I've got, yeah, the Guardian is the same size as a tabloid. You know, the old papers like the Times and stuff like that, and the Telegraph probably. They're what you call broadsheets, so they're twice the size, full-size papers. Once you go tabloid, you're supposed to be a bit more working class, really. Most of us grew up watching mum and dad read a tabloid, didn't we? Which is usually gibberish, sensational shite. But you can glean some information from it. But how true is it? Big question. Anyway, I thought I'd have a look at the paper today. So, we're back at the van now, obviously. Dogs are in. Van still looks tidy and clean. Look, nice, isn't it? Hey. Right, Ted? Yeah, good boy. He nearly had a fight with a little spaniel over there. The spaniel was 100 yards from its owner. Just ran over, no control over it at all. I'm a bit forgiving, but you want to go, Jesus Christ. And get this, was another man. There's several little tracks here around this area where I walk. And so I'm walking along, let's say track A. And I see a man walking towards me. Okay? So I thought, and he's got 2 dogs. And they're loose. Like mine. But I thought, well, I'll avoid him because we don't have to clash. We don't have to worry about an incident, do we? So I cut across off the track to track B. When I get to track B, he's turned up track B. For Christ's sake, so I kept going. I cut across then to like track C. And then I'm walking along track C, turn around, and he's walking behind me. 100 yards back, I'm less than 50 yards back. It's like he's following me. I thought, oh, for God's sake. And he's walking faster than me, because I'm a stroller. And so I cut back across the grass, as go like to track A again, if you like. And I get across to track A, and he's cut across at the end, and he's catching me up again. And you go, how stupid are you? You see I'm avoiding you. Or, you know, not that there's an issue with my dogs. But I tend to not put ourselves in that position. Annoying. You know, I go, for fuck's sake, mate, have you followed me? Will you fuck off? There's dozens of tracks here and acres of ground. And you've got to walk the way I walk. Do I sound like a miserable bastard now?